Guys are going to understand this. All right. Us men, we will take care of you, even if we can't afford to do it. Right, guys? Put it this way. You could be borderline average, homeless, on the side of the road, covered in dirt. And there's a guy out there that'll go, she's got potential. I should take her home, I clean her off. Yeah, I could see it now. So I bring this up to say that, when dudes are struggling, I get it, okay? We don't really have the opportunity, unless you're really for a woman who's struggling. You could be hideous, and there's still a guy out there you win. But that's up to you. But it's funny, though. Most people would rather struggle and be alone than... I find it fascinating. I
have so much to say about this. First of all, we're not objects. And I know that he's like trying to be cheeky and everything, and he'd probably respond saying, I didn't mean it like you're a literal object to take and, wash off and make look prettier and take you home. But you do. You think of us as less than you. You think of us as objects to be had and to be used. And if you were to think in terms of human beings instead of men and women, like, would you as a human want to get with somebody who said, I'll pay for all your stuff, I'll take care of you, even if I don't have the money to, I want to take care of you? Do you really think the dynamics in that relationship are like a Disney movie? This man had parents who had an intact marriage. He was very lucky. It sounds like he had very supportive, good parents who seemingly had a good marriage. So we're human beings. As a woman, I am a human being. We all have trauma. And when I think about how much I have been through because of this attitude, and how much all women go through, and how many women will go through what because of this attitude, I don't know how to say what emotion I feel right now. It almost numbs me at a certain point because I can't really feel it. Because I know as a woman, I can do anything I put my mind to. And it would be such a waste of my life to have just laid at the feet of that first millionaire that would take me and say, well, this is it. I have nothing else to accomplish anymore. It's like, I'm not a dog, not a cat. I don't want to sit at home all day and be taken care of and fed by somebody. I want to experience life. The feeling I get when I look into my husband's eyes, I don't think I could feel that if the only reason I got with him was because he had money. And I know the nuances. I totally get it. There are definitely couples who have a genuine connection and the man is wealthy and can take care of the woman. Okay, I want to address that. Of course, there are those people. That's very rare. When you think about what's going on financially, 60% of Americans have no savings and are living paycheck to paycheck. That is very, very rare. And it's these same men that peg all women as gold diggers and say all women just want to take advantage of the divorce laws and get paid to leave their husbands. All women are horrible gold diggers. Those same men say these same sentiments that, oh, I don't know why you're broke. I don't know why any of you are complaining. You know what you've got between your legs? Use it. No, that's not what he said, but he might as well. Yeah, he might as well. We all know what you're really saying, okay? We know what you're really saying. Women and the pleasure and the free domestic labor you derive from us as men, we are invaluable. You can't put a price tag on what we offer to you. And it is almost cheap to say, well, that man has a lot of money. You go get with him. You have no excuse to ever have a hard life because you could always get a man with money. Because that almost diminishes what we do give. We bond differently and we love differently. I think that that's what makes us complementary, and it's a beautiful thing, and it was meant to be that it was designed that way. But you have no idea how a woman's brain is wired. You have obviously not lived with a woman and experienced life with her and seen what she went through with just up and down of everyday life, but especially pregnancy and birth if she wants to be a mother. And you obviously don't honor that if you have the attitude of, why are any of you broke? Why can't you just... We're gold diggers if we get with men and practice hypergamy, but if we don't, then we're stupid if we don't do that. We can't win with you red pill men. We really can't win no matter what we do. If we're a stay-at-home mom, we're gold diggers. if we work, we're a boss babe that needs to just be a stay-at-home mom. It's never ending. And that's why this is so toxic. There's no working solutions. There's no way to organically grow. And that's what a good marriage does. You grow together. You finally grow up as a man when you marry a good woman. It's not about the woman just trying to get taken care of. I'm not a cat. I'm not a pet for somebody to just take care of the rest of my life. You know, out of struggle and adversity, you grow, you become stronger. That's one reason why here in Appalachia, there's so many people that are so great, and you would call these people the salt of the earth, because they've never had that much, but at the same time, they've always had enough, and they knew how to make what they had work. That makes you a special kind of person. We don't want a world filled with Pearl Davises, spoiled rich kids who have no perspective. It's so narrow and one-sided when you've literally always been taken care of and you've never had to worry about anything. There's not that much growth or depth, and that's why so many people are so stunted and shallow. And even the happy wife, she'll say that. The women that have been taken care of, they're the least happiest. Once again, red pill, it's just this big circle jerk. It's like all these, like, play one end against the other. You don't need to be a gold digger. That's horrible. All women are gold diggers. 70% of them divorce their husbands because they just make so much money off of divorce all the time, even though that's not true. But at the same time, you know, the women that the Happy Wife School says that have grown up with a silver spoon in their mouth and everything, they are the least happy, always searching for something outside of themselves. That's because they've never felt what it feels like to overcome something, because they've always had everything handed to them. If that was your daughter, would you say the same thing to her? If you had a little Jacqueline Jr. looking up at you, saying, Daddy, I want to be a doctor. Daddy, I want to be a lawyer. Or Daddy, I want to be a farmer. Daddy, I want to homestead. I want to get some chickens in my yard. I want to work and make a paycheck because that feels good to be productive. Would you tell her, no, just get with a guy. We'll take care of you. A guy will take care of you. Or would you be like, oh gosh, I'd rather my daughter have skills and be able to be independent than depend on any man that might seriously abuse her, because men commit like 90% of the violent crimes. And I just, at first I was like, man, he has to be so sheltered. And the more I thought about it, like, no, he knows how awful men can be. But I think he is a good guy. I think he has a good heart, and that's part of where this comes from. It's like childlike at a certain point. But this is what we have to deal with as women. And these red pill people saying we need to just settle down and have babies, when my biggest experience of dating was everybody wants to run away from marriage and babies. Every man wants to run away from marriage and babies. No man wants to settle down in his 20s. As a woman, you do want to settle down sooner more often. Like these red pill talking heads make it seem like all men want marriage and babies like as soon as they turn 18. It's so bizarre. Let's talk about emasculation real quick, because somebody else brought up the talking point, there's no such thing as emasculation. I thought it was really interesting because we don't say defeminization, at least in the same gist. And when you see people as masculine and feminine, because we all have those energies, and some are stronger than others, you really think about, okay, so how much can I emasculate a man who is extremely feminine? How much can I emasculate a woman who is extremely masculine? If all women have both energies, haven't all women been emasculated way more than men? Because men are allowed to be masculine. Men are encouraged to be masculine to the point where we have a term toxic masculinity. Women cannot be boisterous, aggressive, assertive. We can't wrestle and roll around with each other on the floor. We are emasculated. As a young woman walking into a relationship like this, the power imbalance is so off and the dynamics are so different that it is more of like a business, transactional. And that's what a lot of these red pill people chalk all relationships up to, because whether or not they have the money, and he even mentioned that, like whether or not the man has the money, he'll take care of you. I don't understand where they're meeting all these men that want to financially take care of women, whether or not they have the money, that want a bunch of babies and a wife that stays at home. Because my whole adulthood, I've just seen most of society railing against a lot of these things. And I know that we're all individuals who can make our own decisions. But when I was a young woman walking into that, You put walls up, you tell yourself certain things, you think of all the things you've heard when in regards to women getting money for men. It reinforces it. People like Jack saying things like this are reasons why young people go and make horrible decisions, because it's just normalized. My father normalized it for me too. You can do this, why wouldn't you? If I was you, I would. When a man that really gets everything that women go through, as much as a man can, like my husband, knows that we sacrifice an awful lot to be humans on this planet. Even if we don't have children, we bleed every month. Can you imagine bleeding every month? Like, really think about that. Once again, until you live with a woman that goes through this and you enmesh your life experiences with hers, you just don't know. And you end up saying these ignorant things. You wouldn't want your daughter to just get with any guy that will pay her bills. What this turns into is the woman ends up finding a man eventually she actually has a spark with and is genuinely attracted to, and gravitates towards him. And this is why so many men are with women they just got with as a transactional relationship, and then they're surprised when she wants to get with somebody that they are more attracted to. So why would you set yourself up for, man or woman, this kind of relationship where it's never ideal from the start, and most often it ends badly because you didn't have a true connection? It's so ridiculous and hypocritical in child, in a naive kind of way, but I can't give them the benefit of the doubt in that way, because I know that they do know better. They just have immersed themselves so much in this echo chamber that reinforces these beliefs that we are so different because of what is between our legs, and our life experiences are so different. And as soon as it's like, I had a teacher say, racism is looking at somebody and thinking they're different because of the color of their skin in any way. And that always stuck with me. That was always so profound to me. Misogyny is looking at a woman and just assuming things based off the fact that she's lived her life as a woman. Certain things, especially that life is easier for her. Life is not easier for us. We get pregnant. We bleed every month. We have to worry about getting pregnant. And we are at higher risk for STIs and STDs because of the nature of our anatomy. If you had ever really spent any significant amount of time with any woman, you would see that. And that doesn't mean that men don't have their own battles to face. But as far as life struggles in a physical way, our plight as women is to endure childbirth and the nature of everything that comes with that. Whether or not we give birth, we bleed every month for decades of our lives. We're not better than you. I don't think I'm better than men. I see us as complementary. And marriage isn't about saying, you're a boy, you're a girl, you do that, you do that. It's about life is hard, and you take on the reins with certain things in certain situations, and it might change from decade to decade. To diminish a woman down to, you know what, you could be taken care of, just do it. It says everything about how monetized sex has become. It is for people that really love each other. It is an amazing experience. It only gets better when you're with the right person. And a lot more of you would be a lot happier if you just learned to honor what a woman is and what she does, instead of looking at us and treating us like literal objects. So since this was recorded, Jack has gotten a live-in girlfriend. He has a partner now who resides with him. And in my opinion, all this red pill bullshit that was spewing out of his mouth before that has calmed down quite a lot, thankfully, because he is an inspiration to many people. He is growing a large platform. There are a lot of especially men that look up to him, because in this economic times, to see somebody climb up the ladder, to see somebody, use their wit and charm, and mostly other people's content, though, let's be real. He does have a nice personality, though, and that's why he has such a big channel. I will give him that. But if he's going to use other people's thoughts and opinions, barely put in his own, but then when he does, it's stuff like this. And he's the same person I reacted to the other night, where I said, he's basically saying, we are on double the amount of disability and food stamps, without bringing up how there's wage stagnation. And There's literally twice, 3, 4 times the cost of living when it comes to anything: food, housing, cars, everything. But wages have only increased once, maybe twice, in comparison to the 3, 4 times we have to pay for everything else. People like him, they want to sit pretty, and he's from Florida. No offense to people from Florida, but like it all kind of makes a little bit more sense when you know he's from Florida. And he's just like, you know, gonna try to be a show off as much as possible, talk about his paid off cars, even though one of them's like a 1992 Cadillac, which I think is great. I like old cars. I'm not making fun of that, but it's just interesting when somebody feels like they have to take up all the air in the room and like tell their accomplishments and be better than other people. And it often gets to this point where we're talking about who's on disability and food stamps, when those aren't the people that are taking from us. Those aren't the people that are taking from our children and our grandchildren. It's the billionaires. And people like him never want to bring that up because they want to rub shoulders. They essentially want to be like them, so they're not going to talk crap about them. And for a long time, he did have this pull him up by the bootstraps mentality, but in a realistic way. Like, as a man who worked 2 jobs himself, like if you don't have enough money with one job, get more hours or get a second job. I can stand behind that for able-bodied people. But then when you're going to turn around and start talking crap about the people on disability and food stamps without bringing up the wage stagnation and the cost of living increase, I just can't stand behind that. Well, this says a lot about a lot. Whenever you wonder why a man is treating you a certain way right off the bat, like how much better would the world be if everybody could look at all of humanity as all of humanity? We're all humans. We all suffer. We all go through shit. We all go through hard times. It doesn't matter if you have a vagina between your legs or not. Actually, if you have one between your legs, you're probably more likely to physically suffer a lot more. If you guys actually honored pregnancy and childbirth and didn't run away from it and look at it as something weird and foreign and alien, like when I was a pregnant woman, the way people look at pregnant women, it's either or. It's funny. They're like, oh, what's precious, a pregnant woman. Or like, I remember being 19 and pregnant and having so many men look at me like I was a literal alien life form, like they'd never seen a woman with a pregnant belly before. It's so ridiculous because they're oversexed. So you see a young woman who, you know, actually had sex like you're obsessed with and got pregnant because of it, and it weirds you out. That's like the weird society we've created where boobs are everywhere, but a woman breastfeeding a child is taboo still. And, all of this craziness is part of it. So I'm sorry I talked so slow in this video. It was an older video, but I still feel like I said everything I wanted to say. I'm kind of like letting you guys know, like, I have a past too. I was groomed by an older adult. I cut that part out of the video because I just didn't feel comfortable saying it, but here I am saying it now. We all have a past, and we can all grow and heal from it. So I'm not trying to shame like anybody I do react to, like, oh, like he can never improve from this, because I believe in a way that he already has, just by sharing life with somebody of the opposite sex. He's calmed his red pill shit down a lot. And sorry for cussing if you made it to the end of this video. I really, really appreciate you guys, and I hope you're all doing great. Thank you for watching.